What do you think really happens after death? Your family fights for your belongings. It's one of the great wonders of life. What will it be like to go to sleep and never wake up? And if you think long enough about that, something will happen to you. You will find out, among other things, that it will pose the next question to you. What was it like to wake up after never having gone to sleep? That was when you were born. You see, you can't have an experience of nothing. Nature abhors a vacuum. Tilda Allen Watts. When we die, the whole world as seen by us, dies together with us. Sounds like a problem for dead me. Play again. Yes. No, I always wake up when I die in my dreams. I think one of your best friends deletes your browsing history. I've answered this one before, but here it is again. Either two things happen after you die. You either go somewhere, or it's oblivion. If it is oblivion, then we're just going back to the same place before we were born, and there's nothing wrong with that. We were there for billions, or trillions of years, possibly infinity. You lose that concept of time, since your brain doesn't work anymore, so you don't even know it's over. It's not nothing, because nothing would be something, and that means that you are aware, which you cannot be, if you're dead. If we do go somewhere, then that's something no one understands, because no one has ever come back to tell us. Those stories of people coming back after they died, and saw stuff, weren't really dead. Their hearts stopped, but their brains were still working. If the universe continues to recycle itself infinitely, then there's a chance we will be reborn, or continuously reborn, but have no memory of our previous selves. We clean the bed, and assign it to another patient. I have no idea, but we're all going together. Exactly the same as before you were born. This thread gave me anxiety, but I can't stop scrolling. Lol. I don't know about you, but I am supposed to get a free ice cream sundae. You wake up sitting in a crazy alien VR system, and your extraterrestrial friends are like, that was 5 minutes. Fucking crazy, right? When I was a kid I drowned while on holiday with my family. A giant fat man jumped in the pool on top of me, and no one noticed till I was on the bottom of the pool. I remember the feeling of my lungs being on fire, then shivering, then as everything was going dark, a strange sense of peace, and I was okay with it. No panic or terror, then it went black. I was resuscitated at the side of the pool a few minutes later. I remember nothing from the black to being alive again. I was around 7 when it happened, and since then I've been strangely at peace with the fact that one day I will die, and slip into the dark void of nothingness. Hope that helps. You wake up in a chair in a cinema, and learn that the other are past lives of you, and you're about to watch your next life very soon on the big screen. While telling a story too inappropriate for this thread, comedian Jim Jeffries talked about his childhood best friend Daniel Connor, and his brother, Andrew. Dan was born with muscular dystrophy. Throughout his life, he had been dead at least 7 times, and was brought back each time. When Jim asked him what happens after death, he responded with, "Nothing." Edit. This is my most upvoted comment ever. Thank you everyone, and thank you to the kind stranger who presented me with a wholesome award. I shall cherish it forever. All things are made of atoms. They are everywhere, and they constitute everything. They are fantastically durable. Every atom you possess has almost certainly passed through several stars, and been part of millions of organisms on its way to becoming you. We are so atomically numerous, and so vigorously recycled at death that a significant number of our atoms, up to 1 billion for each of us, it has been suggested probably once belonged to Shakespeare, and any other historical figure you care to name. So we are all reincarnations, though short-lived ones. When we die, our atoms will disassemble, and move off to find new uses elsewhere, as part of a leaf, or other human being, or a drop of dew. Atoms themselves, however, go on practically forever. Bill Bryson. When I was much younger, I had a dream where I died. Not a typical dream, not a romanticized dream. It was a dream where I was an archer in a medieval battle. About 5 minutes into the battle, chaos was all around me, and I watched an opposing archer aim and loose an arrow straight into my left eye. I remember the sensation of impact, ringing in my ears, and falling to the ground. I remember the warmth of the blood on my face, the feeling of life leaving my body, and the sense of worry evaporating into warmth and peace as the world left behind me. I remember waking up shortly after thinking that the feeling and reality of that experience was so vivid and so detailed that it must have been an experience from a previous incarnation hundreds of years ago. From that moment on, I've never feared the actual process of death. I feel like I've experienced it many times before. Picture a wave in the ocean. You can see it, measure it, its height, the way the sunlight refracts when it passes through. And it's there. And you can see it, you know what it is. It's a wave. And then it crashes in the shore, and it's gone. But the water is still there. The wave was just a different way for the water to be, for a little while. You know, it's one conception of death for Buddhists. The wave returns to the ocean, where it came from, and where it's supposed to be. Edit, quote is from the TV show The Good Place. The ones who love us will miss us, Keanu. Edit, wow. This is the most upvote/comment I've gotten. That answer is the best, and the most accurate answer to this question. Keanu, https://youtube.b/etlbzintei. I believe we just stop existing, nothingness. However, I do think we still exist in a cosmic universal sense. It all depends on time and space. My grandmother died recently, 98 years a good run. She no longer exists now in 2021, but she's still around young and in her 20s in the 1940s. The only thing that separates us are two things: time and space. We don't blip out completely, we still exist along the flow of time. Did that make any sense? Little tipsy here. Your body biodegrades, and its atoms return to nature. Hey, you finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into the Imperial ambush same as us, and that faith over there. Every time I nearly die, maybe like 3-4 near misses, I always have a nice kinda peaceful moment of, oh well, I had a good run, and like a general feeling that I did my best. I really hope when I actually die, it's that feeling, but like lengthened into a small fading point of contentment. Just a sigh of a joyfully lived life, and then nothing. I personally think you just stop existing, and only the memory of you lives on in the head of the people around you. Absolutely nothing for an indeterminate amount of time. And then, because of the vastness of the universe, and one of those infinite monkeys and infinite typewriters type things, poof, your sense of self pops back up somewhere else. Perhaps another planet billions of light years away. I only imagine that, not really believe it, because of the improbability that my consciousness exists now based on the age of the universe. Give my the age of the universe, and my age, it seems quite improbable that my consciousness exists at all. So maybe it always exists. Just a thought, as I travel through existence. I once had a dream about this. I die in my dream, but instead of waking, I kept dreaming about this infinite beach with grey and white sand. The white one was moving. In the sky there was 3 moons, and the horizon was vivid dark blue. I appear at the sea's shore. The water was incredibly cold, and I couldn't move by my own. I started walking towards the bottom, and I felt observed. While I was moving, everything was getting darker and colder. I began to stop feeling my limbs, and then from the darkness, 6 gigantic monstrous glowing eyes opened, and gave me a horrible feeling of fear. I couldn't see more than his eyes, but his presence was very imposing, and I knew it was bigger than my sight could encompass. Suddenly something came from the darkness, and touched my face, and then my body. An hourglass emerged from my body, and stood between the creature's eyes and mine. The creature contemplated the hourglass for a long time, and then, a high-pitched sound that alerted the creature was heard, as if they had hit some metal. The hourglass was put back to its place, in my body. The creature looked up, and so did I. Suddenly I started to feel like I was drowning, and I started to float, very fast. I could see out of the corner of my eye how the creature's eyes were lost in the dark. The surface was getting closer, and when I was to reach it, I wake up. That dream has haunted me ever since. I will never be able to forget the eyes of that creature that I know is waiting for me at the bottom of that cold sea, on that moving white sand beach, in that world with 3 moons and a blue horizon.